Welcome back to the Engineered Angler. If you'll remember on the second to last video where I had been out fishing and I actually caught just a really nice redfish and wanted to share it with you, so I had a kind of a crappy little video that I made with my phone. I mentioned that I was out there looking for redfish. I was out there on a mission. I was looking for new areas to find redfish. I've got a tournament coming up and I've got 3 or 4 spots that I'm almost guaranteed to catch redfish, but whenever tournament time comes along, somehow they disappear from those spots. So I was doing a bunch of searching, and this is my search bait of choice, and it is for a lot of people. Just a gold spoon. Of course, this one's kind of tricked out. I made a video on how to trick these things out. It's a little bit beat up from banging against the oyster, so I'm showing the nice side, just so you think it looks good. Anyway, I just wanted to show what I do to enhance my search. Now, when I was out there, I had neglected actually to do what I'm about to show you to my spoon because I was in a hurry and I had forgotten my my hooks. If you have been out there on the flats searching for reds with a spoon, you've probably experienced those casts where you cast it nice out there and you get a good cast out right over the oyster bar you want to cast it on, and you're reeling it back in and you feel a bump or two, you know, and then but they're not hooking up. You know they're there. You see the swirls on the surface, but they're not hooking up. They're bumping it. Well, one of the things about these lures is that they sink really quickly and the action is really erratic, so it attracts the fish to them, and then they're really kind of hard to hit. Be honest with you, if you watch them in the water, it's amazing they ever hook up because they have such an erratic motion and the hook's only on one side. So if they bang the head up on this side, which I have a feeling is what they generally do, you end up missing them. So what I do is I enhance my hookup ratio by adding one of these spinnerbait trailer hooks. Now this is kind of stuff that bass fishermen do. It's not a very special hook. It's a round bend hook, straight shank. The big enhancement on it is the giant eye on it, and that's there so you can get it over the barb on the hook that you're putting it over. It also comes with a keeper tube right there. It's a soft rubber keeper tube, and the idea is that you cut a little segment off the keeper tube, and then you use this little piece of tube as a safety to keep this hook from coming off. So the idea here is to go ahead and add an additional hook, but you don't want to add a hook that's going to cause you to hang up. You don't want to ruin the nice weedless aspect of your spoon by adding a hook that isn't weedless. So I'll show you what I do. First, I like to have the hook facing the other way. I think it gives you just that extra chance to get a hook up, since now you've got a sharp point in 2 directions. It's just playing the odds at that point. So what I like to do is I want to keep it weedless. I don't want to have this hanging down, hooking up on the oyster bars. So what I do is I'll take my favorite lure out there, whether it be, you know, a fluke tail or some sort of a whip tail or just a straight tail grub. So what I like to do is I'll cut a section just long enough to be able to be threaded on this hook and leave me something to make it weedless. So I slide it on again with the point up instead of down, and then I'll take this and I'll poke it through right there. I don't want to take too much meat now. If you can see, I've cut it. I just measured the length and then I cut it, and then I trimmed it a little bit so it didn't have a big blunt end on it. And then I'll roll it this way, bring it back around, and then I'll embed that hook in there just so I can barely feel it and it barely catches my finger. At that point, you're weedless. You've got a little bit of an added sort of a visual feature. It gives you a little more action, and it actually slows this thing down a little bit. in action, right? So it's not doing that really erratic wobble, and as it falls a little more under control. So I find that you get more hits, and this is definitely where the fish ends up. So I find it to be a real enhancement, and I'll show you how it looks with a couple other lures. And lastly, you can see that just a standard grub right out of the bag goes on there really nicely, and you get a little extra action in the back, and it's simple, no cutting, easy to put on. So tell me what you think. Give this rig a shot. I almost can guarantee you'll have a quicker hookup on those really elusive reds that are just tapping at this thing as it's drifting by them. Give it a shot, take a look at it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the dock now and see if the water's clear enough and there's enough sunlight. And we'll throw this in the water and you can see what it looks like.